Hello everyone, welcome to episode 34 of Reconstructing Cave Story. In this episode we're going to be placing our Polar Star projectile so that we can actually fire it from our gun. So the problem we're solving in this episode today is where do we actually fire our Polar Star's projectiles from? So our solution is to actually go into our image files and find the nozzle of our gun. So I took the liberty of just doing this all backstage, and so I just kind of made a bunch of different sprites from our Polar Star sprites. So I'll look at these and we can look at the measurements from there. So this is the horizontal left, and I'm just going to show you a few examples, but I just did a measurement from the top left corner over to where the nozzle of the gun is, right in the dead center, because that's where we're going to be firing from. And this one in particular is 10 by 23, but I have a table of them already written out, so I'm just going to kind of show you what I did for all of them. Here is horizontal right, here's actually up left, and here's upright. The upright is actually shifted over, and everything's shifted over a little bit in code, but that's fine. So the left one is actually going to be over to the right a little bit more from our top left, and so it'll seem a little bit weird, but I know what I'm doing, I promise. So here's upright, down left, down right, and yeah, this is down left and this is down right. So kind of confusing because this one's on the right and this one's on the left, but I promise this is right. You can tell because this gun is facing as if quote is angled, as if quote is on this side of it. So yeah. Anyway, also let's look at where our Polar Star sprite position is, and I also wrote this down, and this is at the 8th tile over and the 2nd tile down in a zero-based tiling system. And it's one tile wide, and then so this is the horizontal bullet, but then right next to it here is the vertical bullet. So again, I wrote all of this down right in here, so we'll be referring back to this. So yeah, so that's all we need to get started. All we're going to do is just draw this projectile right at the tip of the gun and have that be it. Let's get started. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just going to make a bunch of constants. This is a table of all the offsets I was talking about. So I'm going to just copy these over into our polarstar.cc and just make a bunch of constants for these so that we can forget about the numbers. So let's see, polarstar.cc. Up here in our namespace, we'll just say offset, nozzle offsets. So we'll just start with, these are all going to be in game units, so we'll just do const units of game, and we'll call this first one K nozzle horizontal Y 23. Horizontal left X is going to be 10, and left Y, or no, right X is going to be 38. So those three, done. Now we can do up, up left, and up right. So we'll change horizontal to up. And change these values. So this will be 4, 27, 21. Done. One more set. Change these from up to down. And this will be 28, 29, 29, and 19. Done. Okay, now we don't need to worry about these constants anymore. Sweet. Build just to make sure that these are all correct. Of course they should be. I don't know why they wouldn't be, but I'm checking just in case. Okay, sweet deal. Next thing I'm going to do is add the sprites into our Polar Star for the projectiles, and I'm just going to do this in the Polar Star class for now. I'll just add it to the bottom down here. Let's see, should I make them boost shared pointers? I think I'm just going to make them boost shared pointers. I plan on moving these into their own class soon, so I'll decide what to make them then. But for now, we're more concerned with making the making sure that everything is lined up properly. So just kind of aligning things and checking our pixel values and stuff. So this is going to be a horizontal bullet. Horizontal, how about projectile? And then let's initialize it in initialize sprites. So horizontal projectile dot reset with, can I do reset? Yes, I can. New sprites, and this is in the bullets. Bullet.bitmap or bullet.pvm, depending on whatever, but this also needs graphics. And then its position, let's check what that is. Actually, let's make constants for its position too. So I'll copy this over so we can make constants. Yeah, I'll just do that now. No, not right in the middle of the word. So projectile sprite. So const units of game. K projectile. Oh, these are all in tile actually, so I'll just do units of tile. K projectile source y equals 9. Source. So K horizontal projectile source x is going to be 8. Oh, sorry, the y is going to be 2. My bad. And then the vertical is going to be 9. 9. There we go. Let's see what else. Width and height are 1 tiles each. I'm not going to make constants for that. It's a 1. Okay, so for our sprites, let's do units tile to pixel, giving it our K horizontal projectile source x, and then tile to pixel K okay, projectile y, there we go, source y, and then 1 and 1 units tile to pixel 1 units tile to pixel 1. Does that work? Okay, good. So now we can draw it. I'm going to build just to make sure that this didn't introduce any errors. I don't think it should, so I'm building to make sure. Okay, so let's now draw it at the right position. So what is the right position? So this X and this Y is where we're drawing our gun right now. So we can draw in our bullets just depending on what this X and Y is. So we'll just start with our horizontal left, I guess. Yeah, so let's start with that and then figure out other ones later. So let's horizontal left. Let's just draw it on top and make sure it's drawing in the right position. So let's calculate, first of all, our bullet X and our bullet Y. So our bullet X is going to be our gun's X, which is X, plus our K nozzle horizontal left X. It might be as simple as that. And then our bullet Y is going to be our Y plus K nozzle horizontal Y. And so I want to draw it centered. So we're also going to subtract off 1/2 tile because that's how big of a bullet is. So we can draw it centered that way. So minus units K half tile for both of them. And then we can just draw it from here. So I'll just make these consts because I'm not changing them. And we'll just do our horizontal projectile. nope, not facing, projectile. Draw, giving it graphics, and our bullet X, and our bullet Y. And this should be all we need. I'm going to build, make sure it builds, and then we can run it and see it. So run it so we can see it, and it looks good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, just one way. And it kind of bobs with our gun too, which is what I really like about this. And I think that's actually how the game works too. I couldn't actually figure that out, but that's how our version's gonna work. So yeah, let's just handle all the other cases now. Just kind of do a switch statement based on our horizontal and vertical facing, and just make sure everything's all lined up. Okay, so let's start with our bullet Y, and these are no longer going to be consts because I just realized that we're going to be doing a switch statement. So let's start with bullet Y is equal to Y minus units K half tile for the gun, or for the bullet, for the size of the bullet, so we draw it centered. So let's do a switch statement based on our horizontal facing, or our vertical facing actually, because that's what I mean. So if it's horizontal, case horizontal, then we need to add into our bullet Y K horizontal, nope, K projectile, nope, what was it? K nozzle horizontal Y. Break. Okay, now if it's up, we do the same thing except instead of horizontal, it's up. And same thing for down. And then default we don't do anything because there should be no other case. Okay, now for horizontal facing, we can do another switch statement. And move this bullet X above it, and change it from const to not const again, and get rid of this nozzle left X. Ooh, here we go. So let's actually put this above, let's put this nested inside of our other switch statement because we need to know if it's horizontal or vertical or whatnot. So yeah, let's move this up here. You'll see what I mean. And yeah, I'm not going to do a switch statement. That's too bulky. So we'll do if horizontal facing is equal to left, otherwise, and we're going to do this for all three of these. So if it's left, then we say bullet X plus equals K horizontal left X, otherwise we do right X. And then down here we do the same stuff except with replace horizontal with up. And replace up with down. And build to make sure this runs, and I think it should work too. So I'm building and it built. So let's run it. Ooh, so the left case still works. The right case looks like it's working. It's still bobbing. The up case is almost working. It's just that we're still using our vertical sprite, or our horizontal sprite, and not our vertical sprite. So let's do that next. Let's add in our vertical sprite and then call it a day, shall we? Yes, we shall. So let's change this from, or add in to this, not change it, but add in a vertical projectile, and go into polarstar.cc and draw a vertical projectile and initialize it in a second. I'm just right here, so let's do it this way. So if vertical facing equals horizontal, then do this. Otherwise, do this. Now, where are we initializing it? Right here. So let's copy and paste this because it's basically the same, except change this to vertical, and instead of horizontal, let's change this to vertical. Oops. Okay, build and run, and I think this will look beautiful. So beautiful! Let's see. Woo! That looks good. That looks good. That looks like a lightsaber. To be honest, it looks pretty freaking rad right now as it is, and I don't even want to change it. And I just want to have like a sword to nail this bat with. But let's actually make it a gun in future episode. But for now, I'm very satisfied with how this turned out. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and happy developing.